up, everybody? It's JT Sports and back to you guys with another video. This video, I'm here with my New England Patriots versus the Baltimore Ravens preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and give my prediction for who will end up winning this game. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, little NFL videos and college football videos daily. So in this game, we have the undefeated 8-0 New England Patriots who are going to be on the road at the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens. The New England Patriots are looking to stay unbeaten on the year, going 9-0, and the Baltimore Ravens are looking to hand the New England Patriots their first loss of the season and looking to improve their record to 6-2 on the season. Now, for the New England Patriots, a lot of people keep saying that New England hasn't played anybody. And I don't understand why people keep saying that. Like, I don't know if people are trying to use that as an indictment against New England Patriots, because people keep throwing out New England's 8-0 because they haven't played nobody, and it really doesn't make any sense to me. Because people act like it's a fluke that New England's 8-0. People act like it's a fluke that New England is good. Like, New England hasn't been the best team or the best franchise or the best organization in the NFL for the last decade and a half. So, the fact that people keep saying that New England hasn't played anybody is just kind of throwing me off a little bit, because people keep saying that like it's a fluke that New England is just good. And I don't really understand the logic there, because New England has been this good for the last decade and a half. They've been dominating the NFL for most of the 2000s and the late versions of the 2010s. So I don't really understand people's logic when they keep saying that New England hasn't played nobody but Buffalo. Like, New England is a fluke. Like, it's a fluke that New England is undefeated right now, when New England has been this good for the last decade and a half. And for the Baltimore Ravens, now, Baltimore Ravens, here's the thing, right? Baltimore has a chance to win this game. Every NFL team, even the Miami Dolphins, have a chance of winning the game every week. Because in the NFL, players put their pads on the same way other players put their pads on. So there's no guaranteed victories in the NFL. Every week in the NFL, things change. Undefeated teams end up getting upset by not-so-good teams. Great teams end up losing to bad teams. So, I mean, the NFL is constantly changing week to week. Every week, it's a chance that a team could end up getting upset, or a team could end up pulling off a dominating victory. That's just how the NFL is. The NFL is a week-to-week game. So New England Patriots fans are sitting here, they're like guaranteeing victories. Listen, you can't guarantee victories in the NFL. Pretty much the only team that's pretty much a guaranteed victory is the Miami Dolphins. That's pretty much the only team that you can guarantee a win with. But other than them, the NFL is a week-to-week game, so the landscape of the NFL is constantly changing. Now, for the Baltimore Ravens, listen, 9-20 passing is not going to beat the New England Patriots. Okay, Lamar Jackson, let's be real. Lamar Jackson, if the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game, Lamar Jackson is going to have a tremendous day throwing the football. Because if you Baltimore Ravens fans think that you're going to come in here and New England's going to come to Baltimore and New England isn't going to find no way to stop your running game, they're not going to stop Lamar Jackson running. Here's all Baltimore Ravens fans been telling me about. They say, oh, we're going to beat New England. We want to know why, because when New England blitzes, oh, Lamar Jackson, he's just going to throw to Mark Andrews for a touchdown. Lamar Jackson averages 6.9 yards per carry. Nobody can stop Lamar Jackson as a runner. Listen. This is the New England freaking Patriots. It doesn't matter if you had the number one rushing offense. Doesn't matter if you had the most dynamic quarterback running the football, Lamar Jackson. That doesn't matter. Because what does the New England Patriots do best that no other team in the NFL can do? They take away what you do best. They take away your best weapons, and they take away what you do best. Baltimore's the best team in the NFL running the football. New England is going to take away the run game. They're going to try to take away Mark. They're going to try to take away Mark Ingram. They're going to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket, and they're going to force Lamar Jackson to beat them through the air. Now, if you think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to come in here and they're just going to oppose their will running the football in the New England Patriots, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just being honest. I don't think that's going to happen. New England is top 5 in the NFL in rushing yards per game allowed no less than 100 yards per game rushing. And they have the best defense when it comes to pass defense. And they're also the best team in the NFL in turnovers. So there's no way that you're going to tell me that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have constant success running the football. Now, I know a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans are going to be like, Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns had success running the football on the Baltimore Ravens. Most of the Cleveland Browns rushing yards came mostly in the second half of the game when they were down. And since they were down, they had a lot of rushing plays because New England was playing pass, which really made a lot of sense, because if you're down, then you really should be trying to get back into the game passing the football instead of trying to run the ball when you're down by several possessions. So that's how I clarify that. But if the Baltimore Ravens think that they're going to come into this game, they're going to impose the rule running the football on the New England Patriots, you got another thing coming. Lamar Jackson isn't going to have a crazy game destroying the New England Patriots running the football. If that happens, I would be strongly surprised, because the New England Patriots, this has been the standard of the New England Patriots, they take away what you do well. And what do the Baltimore Ravens do well? Run the football. So they're going to take that away, and they're going to force Lamar Jackson to beat them through the air on this talented secondary. Now, another thing that Baltimore Ravens fans keep saying they had advantage on, they're fully healthy to get Jimmy Smith back. You got Marcus Peters. You got all these guys in the secondary back, and the New England Patriots don't really have no legit wide receivers. Newsflash. The Baltimore Ravens linebackers are not good in coverage, and they got to face James White and Rex Burkhead. You see, a lot of people keep overlooking this. A lot of people, when they play the Patriots, they just be like, oh, the New England Patriots don't really have a lot of talent at the wide receiver position. They have two of the best receiving backs in the NFL, and Rex Burkhead and James White. And the Baltimore Ravens aren't going to have any guys who can really cover those guys, because the Baltimore Ravens linebackers have not been good in coverage this year. The Baltimore Ravens linebackers are more built to stop the pass, or more built to pass rush than they are to cover halfbacks in coverage. So that's a mismatch. Now, the Baltimore Ravens, they can win this game if they're able to get pressure on Tom Brady and able to score in the red zone. That's the two things you got to do if you want to be able to beat the New England Patriots. And that's a little bit in their favor, because we know how good the Baltimore Ravens are inside the red zone. When the Baltimore Ravens get inside the red zone, they're pretty much automatic, because you got to deal with Mark Ingram, you got to deal with Mark Andrews, and you got to deal with the scrambling ability and the passing ability in the red zone of Lamar Jackson. So it's a lot of weapons that you got to stop on the defensive side of the ball against the Baltimore Ravens offense when they get inside the red zone. So looking at my keys to victory, what each of these teams to be able to do and able to win this game, for the New England Patriots, they got to stop the run. Baltimore is number 1 in the NFL in rushing yards per game with 204.1 rushing yards per game. And the Patriots are 4th in the NFL in rushing yards per game allowed with 85.2. The next thing the New England Patriots got to do is they got to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. You got the best secondary in the NFL, and you got a wide receiving core of the Baltimore Ravens who is pretty young and pretty inexperienced. Willie Snead is probably the most experienced player who they have on that wide receiving core. And if you're the New England Patriots secondary, you're licking the chops. And if you're able to contain Lamar Jackson and keep him in the pocket, then that's going to be towards your advantage, because Lamar Jackson is a great dual-threat quarterback, but he's still not there as a passer. We saw that versus Seattle a couple of weeks ago when he finished that game 9-20. 9-20 is not going to be good enough to beat the New England Patriots. If Lamar Jackson goes 9-20 against New England Patriots, they're going to end up getting blown out. And I'm just being real. You're not going to beat the New England Patriots in this defense going 9-20 passing. Now, I know a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans are going to be like, it doesn't matter, we won the game. Yeah, that's all good and dandy when you're playing the Seattle Seahawks. No offense to the Seattle Seahawks, but this is the New England Patriots. This is the best defense that a lot of people have seen since the 85 Bears. So if you think that you're going to beat this defense of 9-20 passing, then you got another thing coming for you, because Lamar Jackson is going to have to complete he's going to have to complete a lot more passes than just 9-20, and the Baltimore Ravens want to end up winning this game. And that's not being biased. That's not being unbiased. That's just being real. 9-20 is not going to be good enough to beat the New England Patriots. It doesn't matter how many rushing yards you have. You got to beat New England through the air if you want to win this game. And that's what the New England Patriots are going to do. They're going to keep Lamar Jackson, and they're going to force him to throw the ball from inside the pocket. Now, I don't know what their game plan is going to be. I don't know if they're going to put a spy on him. I don't know if they're going to put a safety on him or whatever. But New England's going to find a way to stop Lamar Jackson. Bill Belichick's the best defensive mind in NFL history. So trust me, he's going to find a way to stop Lamar Jackson. And now for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson has to be an efficient passer. I just said it. Look, 9-20 passing is not going to be good enough to beat the Baltimore Ravens. You're not going to be able to run this game if you're Lamar Jackson for running over 100 yards or whatever. Because you can run for the New England Patriots are going to let Lamar Jackson run for as many yards as he wants to, right? But they're not going to score any touchdowns. They're going to take that. When you get inside the red zone, they're going to nip that in the bud. So Lamar Jackson, he might be able to run around and have a lot of big rushing plays and whatnot. But eventually, he's going to have to be able to win the game throwing the football. And that's the big reason why a lot of people say that when Baltimore gets down, they end up losing the game. Baltimore is 1-2 when they end up trailing in the fourth quarter. And a big reason because of that is because Lamar Jackson is still not there yet as a passer. Now, a lot of people say that a lot of teams don't really play good when they're behind. But it's a lot more easier to come back from behind when you have a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes and a Aaron Rodgers and a Tom Brady and Drew Brees and a Phillip Rivers and a Deshaun Watson and a Carson Wentz who can bring your team back from throwing the football. Other from having a quarterback like a Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen who are great runners. They're very athletic, but they're not the quarterbacks who can necessarily get you back into the game when you're down 2 scores and you need to go all out by throwing the football who can get you back into the game throwing the football. Lamar Jackson isn't there yet as a passer, which is why a lot of people say the Baltimore Ravens, when they're from behind, they don't really play that good, and the game's most likely over. So Lamar Jackson has to be efficient as a passer. You're going to get the best secondary in the NFL, and he's going to have to be able to make some tight throws and some tight windows, and he's going to have to make a lot of big plays in the passing game, because he's going to have to be able to win this game throwing the football. If the Baltimore loses this game, it's because Lamar Jackson wasn't efficient as a passer. If Baltimore wins this game, it's because Lamar Jackson had a great game through the air. But 9-20 is not going to be good enough to beat the New England Patriots. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens need to have a lot of production out of Marquise Brown. He has to make plays, man. A big weakness in his New England Patriots defense is their inability to guard these fast wide receivers. If you got a fast wide receiver like a Marquise Brown, he can end up doing some damage to his New England Patriots secondary, because this is a New England Patriots secondary that likes to play a lot of press coverage and a lot of man-to-man coverage. And a downside, again, we're playing man-to-man coverage. If you have a fast wide receiver like Marquise Brown who has a good release and can make you pay with his speed and his vertical presence running routes downfield, he can make a team like the New England Patriots pay, especially a team that likes to blitz a lot. And Marquise Brown, he's going to be matched up against Stephon Gilmore. He's the best cornerback in the NFL right now. He's going to have to be able to get open, and that's a tough task because Stephon Gilmore has locked down a lot of good wide receivers over the last 2 years. He's locked down Juju Smith-Schuster, pretty much took Juju Smith-Schuster out of the game. He was pretty much irrelevant. So, I mean, Marquise Brown, he's going to have to show up, and he's going to have to find some ways to make some big plays for the Baltimore Ravens in this passing game, because he is their best wide receiver in the passing attack. He's the primary option when it comes to throwing the football, and he's going to have to get open on the outside if the Baltimore Ravens want to be able to win this game, because that's pretty much the New England Patriots' only weakness that they have on the defense side of the ball is they're not really good when it comes to covering fast outside wide receivers that are able to push the field vertically, and that's what Marquise Brown is able to do. And the last thing they have to be able to do is they got to stop James White, and they got to stop Rex Burkhead. A lot of Baltimore Ravens fans keep talking about all their secondary. They got Marcus Peters, we're getting Jimmy Smith, all that. That's good and dandy, but don't look just because the New England Patriots wide receiving core isn't that great that your secondary is going to end up dominating this game, because these halfbacks account for a lot of New England Patriots passing yards. And these linebackers for the Baltimore Ravens, they haven't been good in coverage this year. So that's a little bit of a mismatch that the New England Patriots are going to exploit. And the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to have a game plan to stop those guys from taking over this game. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm going with the New England Patriots to win this game. Listen, I love Lamar Jackson. He's my second favorite NFL player right now. And I mean, I love Lamar. But I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to have enough of what it takes to beat the New England Patriots throwing the football. Because you Baltimore Ravens fans can say whatever you want to about your rushing attack or whatever. But at the end of the day, well, Lamar Jackson has to step up and he has to make those plays in the passing game. 2-minute drive to win the game. Is he going to be able to do it? Is he going to be able to get a 2-minute drive to get the Baltimore Ravens a touchdown before halftime is? Can Lamar Jackson be good enough as a passer to beat this New England Patriots secondary? And I don't think he is. I mean, he went 9-20 versus Seattle, and Seattle's secondary is pretty much average. And you went 9-20 versus the average secondary of Seattle versus the best secondary in the NFL. I just don't trust Lamar Jackson to be able to get it done through the air in this game. And I think New England ends up winning this game. 31-17 is my final score prediction in this game. So let me know what you guys think about this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.